RealPage and landlords conspired to artificially raise rents.
Washington's Attorney General is suing a software company and local landlords, alleging they conspired to unfairly raise rent prices. We'll break down his claim.
We're starting to move away from some of those April showers and start to get to some warmer weather for the weekend. What I'm tracking in your full forecast.
We're getting tariffs that are pretty across the board, all over the place.
That's a Gonzaga economics professor weighing in on President Trump's newly announced tariffs. Tonight, his take on how they could impact you. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start with some breaking news tonight. Right now, a serious injury crash is blocking all lanes of westbound I-90 in the valley. According to WSP, all westbound traffic is currently being diverted at the Barker Road exit, as you can see right there. Here is a live look of the detour. Check in with KREM.com throughout the night for the latest on updates on this closure. Well, tonight we are tracking the fallout of the Trump administration's tariff plan announced just over 24 hours ago. President Trump announced a baseline 10% tariff for all U.S. trading partners going into effect on Saturday. That's on top of higher tariffs on specific products that are already in effect, like a 25% tax on steel and aluminum, along with vehicles and parts. Tonight, Canada says it is retaliating against those auto tariffs.
By matching the U.S. approach with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement.
And these tariffs are now leading to more cuts. Layoffs have hit 5 U.S. auto plants in Michigan and Indiana that supply factories in Canada and Mexico. It comes as automaker Stellantis pauses production at some of its auto assembly plants due to the tariffs. Wall Street was rattled today, one day after the global tariff announcement sparked fears it could trigger a global recession. The Dow fell more than 1,600 points today, nearly 4% of its value. The S&P and NASDAQ dropped as well, marking the biggest drop since 2020. Some local companies are also taking a hit. Amazon and Boeing dropped nearly 18 points today, while Starbucks dropped 11 points. A day after Trump announced those sweeping tariffs, we wanted to get more insight on how they may impact you and your wallet. In our effort to bring you more to every story tonight, KREM 2's Connor McAvoy sat down with a Gonzaga economics professor. He is live tonight with what he had to say. Connor?
Well, aside from reciprocal tariffs on various nations, it's Trump's 10% tariff imposed across all countries that's also raising a lot of eyebrows. I spoke with a professor at Gonzaga University who says while businesses will take the hit, it's the consumers and their households he's worried about.
These are going to have an effect on consumers, and be pretty significant in the size.
Ryan Herzog's been an associate professor of economics at Gonzaga University since 2009. He says he's worried about the impact of the newly announced tariffs on consumers and the U.S.'s relationship with other countries.
These relationships, these friendships that we built, right, are slowly going to be deteriorating.
That includes the relationships with Canada and China, two of the nation's and the state of Washington's largest trading partners. On Friday, President Trump's imposed what's now a 54% tariff on goods from China. He's also issued a 25% tariff on Canadian goods. But recently, even more tariffs are in play, including a 49% tariff on Cambodia, 48% on Laos, and 47% on Madagascar. That means increased prices on clothes, food, new cars, and car parts, as well as electronics. Those are set to start later this month.
We're getting tariffs that are pretty across the board, all over the place.
President Trump says the tariffs aim to revive U.S. manufacturing, but Herzog cautions that's complicated.
We don't have a lot of these resources. One of the things we talk about is a comparative advantage. Sometimes it's just cheaper for countries to produce a product than it is in the United States.
Herzog says the rate of these price hikes will only force people to either pay those higher prices or double down on cheaper options. And he says the number of people doing the latter is concerning.
Okay, I'm going to try to get a little bit more out of my phone. I'm going to try to buy more secondhand clothes. I'm going to get my cars repaired. All of those things are going to now be more expensive because other people are going to be doing the same stuff.
While Herzog says the tariffs and their impact appear extreme, there's an element of waiting to see what will take hold and for how long.
But I do think you're still waiting to find out if these tariffs are going to be in place 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road. And it's hard to plan if you don't know that. I mean, we've done these interviews before.
Well, that impact is hitting car dealers right here in Spokane. Wanda Ford released a statement saying the 25% tariff is now applied to any new cars coming into the U.S. They say their cars already in the United States won't be affected. They estimate on average the price of a $30,000 car is going up by roughly $7,000. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. New tonight, Washington's Attorney General is suing the software company RealPage and local landlords, alleging they conspired to unfairly raise rent prices. The lawsuit is seeking restitution, claiming that over the last 7 years, this has had an impact on 800,000 renters across the state. The lawsuit claims RealPage's algorithmic pricing software encouraged landlords to share non-public and competitively sensitive data. The AG says that made it easier for landlords to charge more and harder for renters to find affordable housing.
It's affected me in many, many ways, and I almost had to move out. Was almost homeless for a very short second there, because I had to really dig deep to figure out how I was going to do it.
RealPage and landlords conspired to artificially raise rents.
The Attorney General launched his legal fight today. In a statement, RealPage calls the lawsuit's claims devoid of merit, saying, quote, RealPage's revenue management software is purposely designed and built to be legally compliant and has always used data legally and responsibly. We have new information in a string of shootings in Moses Lake. Today, the police department confirming the two recent drive-by shootings are gang-related and they are connected. These two shootings happened within days of each other. The first, back on March 21st, left a 14-year-old dead. Several days later, a Moses Lake neighborhood across town was hit by more gunfire, although this time no one was injured. Captain Jeff Sursley with Moses Lake Police says the drive-bys are believed to be associated with two rival gangs.
I can say from experience, if we do have a gang-related homicide, you can be pretty sure that there's going to be some kind of retaliatory action, whether it be a shooting, a fight.
He says police are increasing the number of officers in the community as well as at schools.
There's nowhere to direct that request to at this point. As the offices have changed, it leaves us with a void in connecting effectively with the federal government. And that's, of course, one of our concerns.
That is Spokane Community College's Chancellor Kevin Brockbank commenting on the abrupt closure of Head Start offices that serve Idaho and Washington. Spokane Colleges runs 11 Head Start sites across the inland Northwest. This week, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under Secretary Robert Kennedy appears to be consolidating Head Start regional offices by half. Brockbank says there are still no answers as to how consolidation could impact the college's $16 million Head Start grant, but he's more concerned the closure will have, quote, ripple effects for decades to come. And that's your night beat. For more information on any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, taking a break from the headlines with a quick look at the forecast with meteorologist Cody Proctor. She is live in the Outdoor Weather Center at this hour. Cody, it is Thursday, which is basically Friday's Eve, which is the weekend, and the forecast is looking up.
Oh, it's looking up in a big way, but don't jump the gun just yet, Mark. We still have to get through Friday, even though Friday looking pretty great as well. Let's talk about, though, Thursday night at this time when it comes to our current temperatures. It is 39 degrees right now over at the Spokane Airport, so it's a little chilly out here at the moment. But the good news is the winds are calm, and that means it's not feeling even colder than what the actual temperature is. Across our region right now, when it comes to our temperatures, we're seeing those 30s in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Moses Lake in the low 40s, low 50s right now for Wenatchee. And as we check in with our satellite radar over the last 6 hours, we did pick up some scattered showers here and there, but for us in Spokane, this was more of a drier day for us, kind of a harbinger for when it comes to this weekend, where we're looking at some drier conditions. Now, here's what we're expecting as we head into the next 12 hours or so, because this is really setting us up for for beautiful few couple of days for us. As we head into our overnight hours, we're looking at those calm and clear skies. That does mean, though, that we are seeing some chilly temperatures as we start off our Friday morning. Take a look at those lows. Could be dropping down to right to about freezing before quickly warming up. So be sure to get those kiddos dressed appropriately in the morning when they're heading to school. But as we head into the next 3 days or so, if we're wanting to figure out what our weekend plans are, because it never hurts to be prepared. We're looking at some really nice conditions tomorrow, expecting highs to be in the upper 50s for us with plenty of sunshine. But take a look at Saturday, at Sunday. We're looking at temperatures into the 60s, potentially even flirting with upper 60s. I'll have more about what's behind that in your full forecast.
Sounds good. Cody will talk to you a bit later in the show. Meantime, still ahead tonight, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown touches base with Governor Ferguson over the impact of the state budget on Spokane. We're back in just 90 seconds.